AI is giving also an unfair advantage over traditional businesses?
Yes, everything will change. It is a very important pivotal moment, maybe the most important one in our history, because currently we are creating a new species.
When it comes to scaling, do you believe that AI can help you scale much faster?
Yes, of course. One of the startups that I was mentoring, they actually used a lot of help from AI for traction by having better social media presence.
4, 3, 2, 1. Nader,
Habibi.
hello. Good to have you. Thank you for accepting this invitation. So I've been planning this for a while because you are definitely an interesting person slash coach slash AI expert slash a lot of things. But I'll let you do the introduction for yourself. How would you like to be known as?
That's a
Nader Turki in Dubai.
that's a very tough question, to be honest. But thank you for the invitation, anyways.
You're most welcome.
Well, I would like to be known as a human being, first of all.
Definitely.
And then what I do is that I am an AI strategy consultant.
Okay.
That's one of the things I do, which is I help the organizations find the why do they want AI. Because not everybody now wants AI, right?
Oh, the amount of times that I hear AI, yani, it's becoming almost cliche,
Yes, true,
unfortunately.
true.
No offense, but
Yeah.
everybody talks about AI as if it's like the savior, as if it's the solution to everything, as if it's. But in my opinion, it's just like any other piece of technology. It will come, evolve, become part of life, and then something else will come along.
You are right, but let's deal with AI as if we are dealing with digital transformation.
Okay.
Digital transformation is not a technology in its own. It's like a framework that you work with. So AI is almost the same. Under AI, you will find multiple technologies, multiple use cases, multiple initiatives.
Yeah.
So what I do is that I help the organizations build a strategy on why do you need AI at the first place. So I go ask them, do you know why do you need it? When they start thinking about that, we start going into their business objectives. Do you need more revenue? Do you need to increase productivity? Do you need to have more customers or to make your current customers happy? That's the why that we start with. And then we go into the business objectives more and more. Show me your process. And in the process, we will build use cases. Yes, we can automate this part. The AI can handle these tasks, and so on. So I start from the strategy, not related to technology by any means. Technology is the last thing I'm thinking about. Yes, I'm an AI expert, but the technology can change tomorrow. Strategy will live with you. So the whole point is that when you have the right strategy, you can unplug the tool and put a new one that is cheaper, that is better performance, that is even easier to use. So when you have the strategy, that's easy to be done. If you don't have a strategy, then AI will be inside your data, and then it will be hard to get like the divorce out of it.
Yeah.
So that's why strategy is important.
But I have a why for you then.
Okay.
Why is the UAE and I think Qatar or just the GCC in general some of the largest investors in AI I think in the entire world?
Yeah.
The GCC overall is investing in the billions
Yeah.
in AI infrastructure, in AI technology, and specifically Abu Dhabi.
True.
Why is it? I mean, why would it be emerging markets as opposed to established industrial and developed economies? What do you think is the reason?
Well, we are in a transitional phase in history right now.
Transition from what to what?
From industrial age to digital age. So I'll take you back 200 years ago.
Okay.
We were still in the agricultural age. So all the countries, their main life was based on agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
But after the Industrial Revolution started, everything shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is not an industrial country, then it's outdated. And this happened through the years. Only 200 years ago, everything changed. So now we are moving from the industrial age to the digital age. And in the digital age, if you cannot catch it early enough, then you will be outdated.
Okay.
So imagine some countries that didn't go for the industrial age. What happened to them? They are still poor. They are still relying on agriculture.
Yeah.
But the ones already, like in Europe, in North America, started the industrial age early enough, they won. They became developed. They became rich countries. I think what the GCC is doing now is the right step to be done. You need to catch the new digital age in the beginning and be a leader in it.
Yeah. But again, relying on that is an important factor. But do you think it's complementing any part of their strategies or their visions into how they are planning to develop their economies? Do you think that this is just really coming completely aligned with what they want to execute on the ground?
Yes, exactly. Because you know that the GCC from recently, let's say, they started to say, let's not rely on the oil and gas anymore. It's like, it shouldn't be a big part of our economy, of our GDP. So what's next then? If you can just study the American economy, you will see that California, which is also part of it, is the Silicon Valley, right? They are like a third of the American economy coming from California, and specifically the Silicon Valley. You look at the top 100 companies, the biggest companies, and you will find most of them are IT companies.
Right.
So you will see that the economy all shifted lately to the digital, to the IT, to the information technology. And now if you are not catching with the AI, because the AI is in its early stages, if you are not catching with that, you would be outdated. So it's better to start now so that in the future, your economy would get you much more, let's say, money, sustainability, future vision in the right stage, which is the transitional phase, as I told you.
I have a controversial opinion about this, and I don't know if people would agree with it or not. But do you think their willingness to invest that much money do you think their willingness to invest that much money in AI is also to decrease their reliance on external workforce? Do you think that this is also a way to sort of automate and eliminate the human element as much as they possibly can from day-to-day things or things that don't really require that much human intervention?
It is a very nice question. But actually, I don't think so, because you can still do that while not having infrastructure at your land. It doesn't really make a difference if you are investing and putting data centers here or not. You can just use the same tools on the cloud. So it's not really related to replacing the human being with an AI agent. No, you can do this anywhere in the world. That's one of the basics of the digital world. That it's everything just connected. You don't need it. But now investing in data centers and investing in mines and businesses related to AI means that you want to build a good foundation for the future.
Yeah.
And this, actually, in my opinion, and I know this also, many people might find this controversial, I am a pro-AI person. So for a while, people will lose their jobs. Yes, it will happen. But then later, it will create much more jobs.
But you also made a controversial statement on LinkedIn the other day. You're like, no, people should not invest in AI education.
Yes.
I do not agree. And I think you got a lot of heated comments regarding that. Like, how come you're being against education, etc.? But I wanted to hear your take on that.
I stand by it. I see that some people now are trying to sell you MBA for AI, and you will take 2 years to understand AI. And then there's a course that will take 3 months to just learn how to use some tools.
Yeah.
And then there's how to prompt. I don't think this is anything but just to take your money. Because once you finish the course, 3 months is too long. 3 months ago, we didn't have the same tools that we have today.
Yeah.
Imagine MBA for 2 years just for AI.
Yeah.
Unless your life is dedicated to AI, deep inside the technology. That means machine learning, transformers,
Yeah.
the neural networks. I agree in this case. Fine. But if you are telling me just take a course on how to use AI, whatever you learn now in 3 months will not be there. In 2 weeks, it will be outdated. So why take a course? Ask the AI to teach you. As simple as this.
Yeah.
Why should I give you a course on how to prompt AI? Go ask the AI itself. How should I prompt you?
Well, because some people might feel like it's just overwhelming amount of information and maybe they want to understand it the right way.
True. And that's the point now. I think there is a FOMO effect, a fear of missing out with everyone. Everyone want to catch on the AI.
Yeah.
You cannot catch up. You cannot keep up anymore. I would say my advice in this case, as an AI expert, focus on the AI tools related to your job.
Yeah.
My job is to know everything about AI. But if you're an engineer, why know about the new tool creating music? No.
Yeah.
Use it only if you have a talent for music,
Yeah.
and use it in engineering, use another tool. So focus on the tools that are important to you. Don't focus on each and every tool, and don't try to compare ChatGPT with DeepSeek, with Gemini. Any of them is enough for your job. If you are a specialist, there are tiny differences. But if you just have a normal job not related to AI, any of them would do fine. And please don't try to catch up with what's happening with each and every other tool. It's too much.
Yeah. Now, speaking of AI and general business, are you, and I need you to give me a clear answer, yes or no, are you a supporter of implementing AI to its full capacity in a startup in order to reduce cost?
In order to reduce cost, no. So this question, I would say, for startups to use the full capacity of AI, yes. Reduced cost only, then no. This would be the wrong strategy. But to have increased performances while reducing cost, that combination is much better than just focusing on reducing cost.
Yeah. The reason why I ask this is because one of the biggest problems right now that I notice, and I meet a lot of founders and entrepreneurs here in Dubai, is really the beginning, the startup process. The first few months, the first 6 months, the first year, it's expensive. Yeah. It's a lot of cash burning, and sometimes it's relying on just maybe the wrong people. So some people say the solution to that might be AI, right? Like to just have AI agents or automate some processes, or just to be as lean as you possibly can because of AI. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let me tell you, because I'm also a startup mentor. So
yes,
I deal
that's
with
why I'm asking you these questions, because I have a lot of startup questions for you specifically, since now Dubai is becoming a hotspot for startups.
So because I see the struggle that the startup founders, the entrepreneurs, they deal with in the early stages of a startup, you will need help, first of all, from a mentor. You need someone to guide you, especially if this is your first startup. And finding someone like that is not that easy, because you need to find people who are willing to give you this at the early stages for free. Right. Because some people, they tell you, no, I will take equity, or you need to give me money. So in this case, if you don't find one, maybe you can use the AI temporarily till you find a human being who learned from his mistakes or her mistakes. And then the next step, you need some graphic designer. Okay, you can use AI for that. That's simple. Or maybe hire someone as a freelancer to just use AI, which is at the same time cheaper than hiring a graphic designer. Then you need to build some user interface. Okay, there are tools online with the help of AI that can help you reach this point faster. Then you need something called the business canvas.
Yeah.
Okay, ask the AI to help you produce the business canvas. But don't ask the AI to do the full business plan for you. That would be a big mistake.
Yeah.
If you are trying to reduce cost, in this case, you are not.
Yeah.
You should go ahead and write it yourself. Maybe ask the AI for a template. But this is your business, your startup. Write it yourself. Ask the AI to maybe check the grammars or the spelling mistake, but not to produce a business plan. This would be the first mistake if you want to reduce cost, for example. That's one example. The other one is, in the early stages, you are building a prototype just to prove how the idea works.
Yeah.
That's okay to have it with the help of AI. But when you are building the actual product, no, you need also to work with humans to think for now. Maybe later in the future, the AI can build the application fully for you. But for now, no. You need to think with the architecture of it, with the business value of it. AI can help you in a lot of things, but AI is so far is an excellent assistant for a human being, not a replacement for any human being.
And if I can ask you a question, you can give me like a direct answer, either one word or two words. What's the biggest mistake that startups are doing right now, specifically ones coming out of Dubai?
They don't have the right market.
They don't have the right market. Okay.
The product market fit is not always something they studied for their ideas in Dubai and everywhere. Product market fit is the best thing that you can think about. To evaluate your idea, you need to think about the product.
And why do you think they're failing at doing that a lot? Well, I mean, the ones that do fail, why do you think they're failing at doing that?
There's something in startups called that, it's a quote. It's saying that you need to fall in love with the problem, not the idea, not the solution. Meaning is that the whole idea that you have, this app or this service, is solving a problem.
Yes, because if you're solving a problem, you're providing value.
Yes.
So you're selling a service.
Some people, they don't fall in love with fixing the problem. No, they fall in love with the solution they came up with at the first place. What if this solution is not working? You need to pivot. You need to search for another solution to fix the same problem.
Yeah.
But they don't. They think their solution is the only solution, so they try to make it work. It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So product market fit here is that you need to really do your homework and start applying it and learning. If it is not working, pivot. Get user feedback. Change something. This is where they fail. And in this case, I hope that everyone would start, please go ahead, test the product as fast as you can. Fail fast. If you don't fail fast, you would be spending a lot of money till you fail at the end. But if you fail fast, you can change the solution. You can pivot to another idea.
But one of the problems with this, and I've experienced this myself and with other startups, is that sometimes if you also put the product out too early, it might not really be in the shape or form or the quality that you expect it to be. Right?
Doesn't matter.
So,
really doesn't matter. The founder of LinkedIn, one of the co-founders of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, he said something that I can never forget. He said, if you are not embarrassed by your first version of your product, then you launch too late. You need to get it out there and be embarrassed. By the way, the first iPhone, when it came out, it didn't even have copy and paste. They just got it out, and then later they found how to do copy and paste. Like, come on, copy and paste in 2007? Can you accept it? No, but it was an amazing phone in other things. Prove that your idea works. Don't care about the small mistakes here and there, or the user interface is not the best.
But wouldn't you also be losing customers and clients if your product, you put it out, it doesn't work, it fails? You sort of burnt your name, no?
No, because you learned a lot, and the first 100, 200 users, they gave me the experience. I don't fail when you have 100,000. Fail when you have 100 or 200 or 1,000. Fail
Right.
in that level, it's not a failure. It's either you win or you learn. So in this case, you are just learning. Use that. Use it early enough. Don't polish now. Polish later when you learn. Maybe what you are offering is not really what the end user needs. But when they have it in their hands, you will see, okay, so they are thinking in a different way. I need to change the whole user experience based on this feedback.
And do you think there'll ever be a point where maybe we will have AI bots or agents or whatever you want to call them act as users that could test our product for us?
Yes, by the way, I started seeing that already.
Really?
For now, there are test automation, like AI agents for test automation, but they are a little bit limited. You cannot now have different personas, let's say.
Yeah.
But they are limited at least for the scenario that you give them. Like you give them the scenario, go ahead and log in and use the service and buy a product and put it in the cart and do checkout. And they can do it thousands of times in just like few minutes.
Okay. But given now with all of the technology and development of AI, do you think it's also lowering the barriers for entry, barriers to entry, for startups in Dubai? Do you think it's making it easier?
True. Yes. And this is the beauty of AI. Because very soon, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, he said that soon we will have a $1 billion company done by one individual. We will see that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because now you can...
So he really thinks that a unicorn can be done by one person.
Yes, exactly. And I see why he is saying that, because you might have two developers, they are just AI. Graphic designer, AI. Marketing, AI. And you have your testing team, AI. And if you have the good idea and you have the basics of coding, you have the basics of marketing, then you can handle everything yourself.
Yeah.
Lawyers, you don't need to. I'm not talking now, I'm talking in the near future.
Yes.
But yes, now AI is increasing productivity a lot. So in this case, the barrier to entry that previously you only needed a technical co-founder to be with you. Soon, you will not need. You just need an idea.
No, it's true, because I've had guests on my podcast that actually have an AI software developer. Basically, they trained. He's a programmer himself, so he trained his own AI agent to develop software as he would develop it himself. So it just became his digital twin, in other words.
Exactly.
And he really doesn't have to do much. So now, what would have taken him, for example, weeks or months to develop as a software for other people as a service, now it takes him a few days, so maybe a few minutes.
Point. Allow me to tell you that now the people who are making use, the best use cases of AI now is to start with what you are good at. It will increase, let's say, for now, 5x your productivity. So if you are good in engineering, focus on the AI of engineering. If you are good in mathematics, use it for that. If you are good in coding, use it for that. That's why I now brainstorm with my AI for a strategy. I'm having a discussion, and we are arguing actually, because we get the best out of each other, because I understand this area. So use it for whatever.
So you really actually get the AI agent to challenge you?
Yes, this is exactly what I asked it. It's that I gave it the baseline of the strategy I want to implement, and I asked it, like, challenge me, tell me where here, what did I not do, which is an important question in strategy. Sometimes I said it to one of my clients after we finished everything and we had all the ideas, and I told them, there's something missing here. What are we not doing? This is what we will do, but what are we not doing? What is the competitor doing and we are not? What market we are not tapping into? What products we didn't touch yet? So it's important sometimes to ask even the AI, what am I not doing?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like you said, it's sometimes when a person is not lucky enough or is not fortunate enough to have a mentor, he has to make use of AI as a tool, as a replacement, because
True.
some people really, I mean, struggle to have proper guidance
Yeah.
and proper mentors. But that being said, what do you think are the biggest AI powered startups emerging from this region, or maybe from Dubai specifically?
The biggest ones didn't start yet. The startups that are AI based coming out of the
Or
region.
AI powered. Let's not
Yeah.
say AI, but AI
Yeah,
powered. They
AI
could
powered even,
in
yes.
any domain or discipline, because you
Yeah.
mentor a lot of startups. So I'm just
Yeah.
interested in.
I saw a lot of them, nothing I would say like wow.
Mm,
Nothing that created like this thing called the Sona, which is just that you will give it your own voice and it will create an amazing song for you. And you
mm.
just need to give it the topic of the song. Try it even with this podcast. And it will give you an amazing song talking about the podcast and how it is nice
Yeah,
and mentioning your name and my
yeah,
name
yeah, yeah.
and putting music and changing the style. That is a level of tool that is a disruption,
Mm.
making a disruption. Same for the tools that are just taking your voice and putting it dubbed in
Yeah.
whatever language. This is a
Yes.
disruption.
This is
So
yes.
now all the startups that I saw so far in Dubai are not in the core of AI. They are just using what we call a wrapper from
Mm.
someone's else AI. They
Mm.
are using ChatGPT or Llama by Facebook Meta or any other tool. But core ones, I only see one good example, which is Falcon, done by Abu Dhabi.
What's
Falcon
this
is
company?
it's not a company, it's actually an institute, technology institute,
Okay.
created a large language model called Falcon,
Okay.
which was the first and the biggest English Arabic large language model, and it's very popular now and it's open source even.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the very successful examples of what could come out of the region and be and have an international impact. But the startups still, but soon I'm sure we will see AI powered startups doing something extremely unique. But so far they are still learning, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy now, like because we were just talking about how adapting or getting AI technology now is really kind of pointless, because the learning curve is so steep now that everything is changing on a daily basis, that it doesn't even make sense
True.
for you to even start even wrapping your head around it, because everything is changing. But do you think that AI is giving also an unfair advantage over traditional businesses, in the sense that maybe some people that may not be as qualified or as skilled founders specifically or executives as others
Yeah.
are using AI as an unfair advantage over maybe other founders or other competitors as that may be more qualified as people?
Why would you say unfair in this case? It's an advantage, but it
Yes.
is a fair one.
Unfair, I'll tell you why. Because people that are against AI adoption and everything will tell you that at the end of the day, it's just a machine. And it's really what you teach it, garbage in, garbage out. So it could also develop bias, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just a copy of what you want it to be. So
Yeah.
why I say unfair? Because some people would tell you, well, in the end, it's just the business falls back to the executive team or the founder or the CEO, and that person himself should be able to carry the company on his shoulder and not having to rely on bots or this or that to be able to make key strategic decisions.
I tend
That's the
to
argument.
I tend to disagree, and I will say a lot of things that might be controversial now.
Okay,
Because
please do.
first of all, like this is totally how capitalism system works. You have an advantage, you use it, regardless what is the advantage. If you are saying that someone with amazing mental skills and someone else is using AI and they have limited skills, I would say, good for you. You use whatever tool you can
Yeah.
to dominate the market. And speaking about biases, who created the biases? It's humans. Now
Yes.
we are blaming AI for the biases? Like, come on. We created these biases. And biases, they change by time.
Yeah.
Like, I remember this story that I think in the 50s, there was one company decided that they would hire 10% people of color. Okay, this is how they said it, people of color.
Yeah.
And you know what happened?
What?
The African Americans went and said, you are trying to make a problem in the society by putting this percentage 10%. You shouldn't do this because you are marketing idea that we are only 10%. Now, do you see any company having a problem with diversity and inclusion? No. So what was before a problem, now it's not. It was biased at that time. Now it's normal, diversity and inclusion. They must be here with a specific percentage. So biases change. And from a long time ago, women didn't have the right to vote. Nobody said that we are biased against them. Now, if she is not having her right fair in education and job, this is extreme bias. So biases change, and all of it are inside our knowledge, and our knowledge is inside the AI. We will live with bias. Let's accept it.
Yeah.
So AI is having bias because we created it, and we are continuing to create
And
it.
we can
every day.
uncreate it if we want.
We cannot. We will live with biases side by side as long as humans.
No, I'm saying we
available.
can uncreate it in the sense that we can change it. Like if we train the machine, or if we teach the machine not to actually, yeah, you're right. I take it back. Yeah, you're right. Yes, now I realize what I just said, because a person is biased in his nature.
Of course.
In his nature, he's biased. I like X because of particular reasons. You like Y because of your particular reasons. So the bias is always going to be there.
And the biases will change.
I actually just contradicted myself, but it's
It's
good.
fine.
I caught myself, but yes.
And the biases will change. This is a fact that we need to live with.
Yeah.
Because it changed already. What was there 20 years ago is considered now a bias. Like if you open a photo in the 70s and saying the French team or the German team, you will find all of them blonde and with blue eyes. This was normal. Now
They're all African French.
it's a diversity. Now if you try to generate an image by AI, let's say, and you put the French team and you see them all blonde, that's a bias now.
Yes.
But in the 70s it was not. It was normal. So biases are being changed. But the good thing is that what's happening in the future of AI? Something called superintelligence, ASI, artificial superintelligence.
Okay.
When we reach that level, superintelligence will be fair, will not be biased. But we as human will be like insignificant. We will not be like in control of anything. The superintelligence is handling it.
But this is what's so scary, because when you say these things, it just makes me more and more convinced that yes, $1 billion company could be created by one person, which means that the reliance on humans is going to become less. And you will not need as much, let's say, investment or funding to have a successful startup as you used to require back in the day. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do you feel like right now with all the startups that you're dealing, do you feel like they need less funding than they would have usually needed before?
Now, yes. And VCs, even venture capitalists or investors, they woke up to this fact that
they're aware
they
of it.
invested a lot before in companies didn't make it. And they were hoping for the 5 to 10% that would get back all the losses.
Yes.
Now
but that's how it usually is,
but
right?
now it's changing a little bit. They are much more cautious right now. Except, to be honest, what happened in the last 2 years for the AI boom. We are in the AI boom. Put the label that you are working with AI, we will invest in you. which is not the right way to
Yeah.
deal with it. But investors are more cautious right now. But I see that with the help of AI, we will create much more growth in the global economy. Much more wealth will be created because of
Really?
AI. Yes?
Much more wealth. But
Yeah.
then wouldn't that contradict the statement that your reliance on humans would become less? Your reliance on people would become less, so you will have a lot more unemployment.
And unemployment will happen, yes, but you will have a lot of cost reduction in many areas.
I think what you're trying to say is you may have a lot of wealth created in certain category of society, not
I'm not talking
not
about
across the
individuals.
entire. I'm talking about individuals, but
No.
maybe not across the entire chain.
I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the global economy.
Right.
No, it might even triple very soon. And that's because of the help of the AI. Much more efficiency, more new ideas, better management, many
Faster,
things.
more efficient.
Yes, exactly. So many things will add to the total GDP, to the total economy, the total wealth. But the distribution and the
That's exactly
that's
what I
a
was gonna
different
say.
dilemma.
The distribution of the wealth.
Yeah, exactly. That's a different dilemma that it's not clear because it's in the hands of humans. I cannot really say how each country will behave. But there's an idea that many people are supporting now, which is the universal basic income. I think this might be the way forward. Is that anyone lost their job because of whatever reason, they can have a universal basic income, which at least covers shelter, food, health.
What's this universal basic income?
It's a new concept, which is like it's not really an unemployment kind of thing. Is that we are helping you, but no, if something, if you need this money to survive, then
Yeah.
it's universal and it's like all the countries agreeing on it with specific criteria, which is not still mature idea. It's just an idea. But many companies actually are supporting to participate in it, not only governments.
Okay. Going back to investors, and I want to also have a clear answer on that. Do you think that investors look at AI-powered companies differently than they would have looked at AI, non-AI power startups?
Yes, now.
Now.
Yes, now. Yeah.
Really,
definitely.
it's a game changer.
Definitely, yes.
Why is that?
If you add AI now in your
Strategy.
in your strategy, in your team, even in your product, then investors would go for it and would ignore someone else having the same idea but without the AI.
Why is that?
It's a hype. I'll be honest with you. Maybe the AI is just a label that you are putting and it's not really adding
But
value.
that's the thing, because I did have this conversation with a very good, very smart software developer here. And he tells me, Muhammad, listen, 90% or 80% of these companies that claim they work with AI is bullshit.
Yes, I do agree with that.
He tells me, I'm a software developer and I'm telling you, AI, yes, can be useful and can help a lot, but to know how to implement it and to program it properly into your systems and into your software is not a piece of cake at all. And it's something very complicated and you require really highly skilled developers to be able to do it efficiently.
And you need a strategy first to do that.
And you need
That's
the strategy, and your strategy has to revolve around the use of AI. Otherwise, it just becomes this thing that's there but has no purpose. Like you just really don't know what to do with it. You, like you said, you just have it there for the hype.
Well, look at it from another perspective, from my perspective.
Yeah.
I am an AI strategy consultant, right? Okay. Do you think my job existed like 2 years ago? No.
Yeah, that's true.
It couldn't exist. I had to pivot in my career because I have the knowledge of AI. I have the knowledge of strategy. I know how to go deeper with critical thinking, find the root causes, and then create a use case out of AI. If you are not doing this in your organization, then you will get the wrong tool. What will happen? That it would fail. If you don't have a strategy, that means AI will not help you By the way, there was this story that Air Canada, they implemented AI agent as a customer service. So actually,
By the way, for me, anytime I see an AI agent answer me on the phone, I immediately hang up. I hate it so
Yeah.
much. I hate it because
by the way,
it's-
these are
it's-
not AI. These are the old robots.
I hate them.
This is
Oh my
IVR.
God.
IVR, just the
Anyway, like
Yeah,
a few companies try to use that with me,
the
and
banks, man, the banks. I hate them. Yeah,
I'd rather just like chat with a bot rather than deal, because the AI, like, it's just we're very far from
yes.
it
True.
replacing a complete human over the phone.
No, true, and they are using the.
It's a bit creepy too.
Yes, this is called the uncanny valley, when you know this is not a human but trying to act like a human. It's called the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
But anyways, what they are using is not proper AI, especially the banks. All the banks here are just putting this robotic voice that are going into loops.
Yeah.
I once stayed like 15 minutes in the same loop. I think it came to my nightmares. It's just like I cannot reach a human being. And you know what happened later? I sent an email and they replied in 5 minutes fixing my problem. It's just, yes, if you have the wrong use case for the AI, it might hurt you. So
Yeah.
back to this story of Air Canada, they put an AI agent chat, by the way. And actually, because their refund policies were so complex, it gave a refund to someone who was not eligible really for the refund.
yes.
And it was a big deal because it was a big refund. And
Yeah.
he was not eligible for it because the AI bot didn't really go into the complexity of the data to get it right. So yes, if you are using the AI in the wrong way,
Yeah.
then you will have the wrong results.
And
need
you
to
pay
have
a heavy price for it too.
Yes, you need to really have the strategy. Part of the strategy is checking your data, maybe cleaning it, maybe simplifying your process or your policies. That's part of the strategy.
Okay, and what about companies? Do you think companies right now would be able to punch startups? Sorry, let me rephrase the question. Do you think startups right now would be able to punch much higher above their weight because of AI when they're competing with bigger companies?
Yes, but let me tell you something that I predict that will happen soon.
What?
We are currently in the AI boom.
Yes.
It reminds me of the dot-com boom.
Mm.
So the dot-com crash followed. I am seeing the AI crash happening very soon.
Okay, and the crash will happen how and why and when?
Okay. So one is very soon, maybe in a year, 2, 3, maximum 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is the important one? I see now a lot of, it's a hype, as we said. So I see a lot of startups and even companies, they, in a very speedy and hasty and just like risky way, they make a wrapper out of a current AI, just like ChatGPT. They put on top of it another user interface and say, this is now for your data analytics. And then 2 days later, ChatGPT does the same and for free. So this now, they are going out of business after being invested in.
Yeah.
I saw some tools even having the wrong pricing. I saw a tool, it was amazing. You give it your photos. It gives you photos as a superhero and a professional photo shoot. And it was amazing with very nice quality. Their pricing model was wrong. So they went bankrupt. They were costing themselves a lot to create these images, and they were selling it cheaper than actually it costed because it's still new. You don't know how much every single photo generated by AI would cost you.
Yeah.
Everyone is having a different price based on the details in it. So people, when they are building AI right now, some of them, they don't have value. Some of them, not the right pricing. Some of them, it just like, it's a bullshit at the end. You are just creating a wrapper on another LLM or another third-party tool.
Yeah.
You can easily go out of market. So the dot-com crash that happened before, the AI crash will happen soon because of the same exact reason. You are building something without proper value just to take money. This is not sustainable. This will not last. And if you are investing in an AI tool and just tomorrow something comes from China to replace all your business model. So in this
You're
case,
cooked, you're done.
yes.
Wow. So Nader, do you think right now we're at a pivotal moment in how economies and businesses are set up and how they will change for the years to come?
Yes, everything will change. It is a very important pivotal moment, maybe the most important one in our history, because currently we are creating a new species, intelligent species. It was just born 2 years ago, generative AI, much more intelligent than anything we created before. And it's now only a baby, 2 years old. Imagine when it is an adult, what will happen in few years. No, this will change everything as we knew it before.
But then in that case, as you mentioned to me earlier, you are going to have some sort of super intelligence that even AI itself is going to create its own AI.
Yes, exactly, yes. And this is the moment that we will not understand what's happening, because the AI will come to a point that it will create another AI much even intelligent, more intelligent. And imagine if you also have quantum computing, which is processing millions of times faster than today.
Yeah.
So imagine having all the possibilities, all the answers to whatever questions we have right now about the universe, about mathematics, about the physics, about biology, about the space. All of these would be just answered by such super intelligence. In this case, we will not understand actually what's happening. I'll tell you one example. We will reach a point, let's say, with biology and drug discovery, that this super intelligence is actually giving you the medicine that will cure whatever disease you have. But we will not know how this drug was done, what components are inside.
I swear to you that in this chair, 2 or 3 months ago, there was a guy that was sitting, Chris Farioli, and he was showing me a conversation that he was having with another friend in Italy that had some broken shoulder or something. He took the X-ray picture and uploaded it on ChatGPT. And asked ChatGPT to diagnose his situation, his condition. And the ChatGPT itself gave him a better diagnosis than the actual doctor.
Yeah.
And if he didn't show me the actual result, I wouldn't have believed him. But when I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening. Insane.
It's happening, and I think humanity, we were not ready for this.
Yeah.
And it's happening too soon, too fast. We are not ready. The AI is the tool of the tools, the technology of the technologies.
The mother of all technologies.
Yes, we are creating the last tool that we will ever need, because it will create much more tools. It will create much more. It is smart. It is intelligent. So at the level of super intelligence, imagine yourself now really talking with someone who lived 1,000 years ago. Imagine you go back in the time machine and you try to explain to them the smartphone. You can never do it. For them, this is magic. Soon, the super intelligence will create for us things that are just magic. We will be that guy from 1,000 years ago. We will understand nothing.
But that's a bit scary, because also I had another guest that was also talking about changing wealth and the transfer of wealth and just the changing dynamics of the entire current status of economies. And he said that there's going to come a point where you're going to have a fourth class of people. Now you have three classes, right? You have the middle class, upper class, lower class. Yeah. And then he said something, sounds a bit mean, but that's how he said it. And he said you're going to have another fourth class, which is the useless. Or not the useless, let's say, trying to find he said useless. I'm trying to find a nicer, more politically correct word, but that's how it is. And
The unskilled.
yeah, well, I mean, I think it's even bigger than unskilled, or worse than unskilled, because
Yeah.
I can't help but think of economies or countries that are not adopting this technology,
Yeah.
right? Where are they going to be in comparison to all the other economies?
Yes, you are right. And I tend to agree actually about, I'll use the same term for now because it is significant, is the useless class will be there, yes.
Hmm.
But also I will see that the middle class will just dissolve because much
What will happen to the middle class?
they will just either catch up few of them and catch the wealth train and go to the upper class, or just they will go to the poor class. So the middle will join the poor and the poor will be useless and some people will just accumulate wealth. I think that's happening as a transitional phase.
Mm.
But later on, we will know that we will need, with the abundance of wealth that will be created because of the tool of all tools, the mother of all technologies, there will be an abundance of wealth.
Mm.
And we just need to find a way to redistribute that in a fair way, or at least a portion of it.
Well, you know, humans are greedy. They will never find a way to
True.
redistribute. They will always try to find a way to keep it for themselves. And obviously, countries are going to look at their own national interests and try to keep also as much as
True.
the
But
wealth that they can grab, in addition to all of the technology that they can
yeah,
hold. Like if I'm not mistaken, I think even the U.S. introduced limitations on how much microprocessing chips they can export, specifically ones that are serving the AI.
true. The
Tools
GPUs, the graphical processing units, are being banned now from being exported to China.
Yeah.
And being limited to whatever goes to, let's say, the Middle East, UAE, and Saudi Arabia, and to Europe, it's limited. But that is like a kind of economical and trade war because when you ban something, you're giving the chance to someone else to actually reinvent it or re-engineer it or maybe produce a better one. So currently you cannot really ban such a thing, but they are doing it for the short term, at least till they get better in their technologies. But I'll be back to your point is that countries who are not catching this extremely fast bullet train early enough, no, they will suffer. They will extremely suffer. Because think about it. If you can give the AI predictive analysis about your trades, about your supply chain, about the crisis, and another country is still just farming and eating their food, and they have like a couple of factories, which one will think that they will have a future much more efficient, much more sustainable?
Yeah.
In this case, you will find actually countries, I think, that they are just farming their own food and that's it, so that they wouldn't die or starve, but they wouldn't be part of the global economy anymore.
That's scary. Honestly, it's crazy because unfortunately, as you know, there are a lot of countries right now that, especially ones that are already in a very low GDP status, that will probably never have that chance.
Yes.
And unless some sort of pivotal change will happen in their policies or in the government,
Or in the globe,
yeah.
which is, I am also a book author. So one of my novels, it's science fiction, or part of it is science fiction. So I predicted all of this. I finished it in like 2022. I started in 2018.
Yeah.
And I was talking about the AI. So I predicted that there is a moment that we will actually unify. We will just be one planet. And in this case, everything will change because language will not be a barrier. Now you will
That's
just
true.
have a tiny device in your ear or something that will translate any language to any language, so it's not a big deal. In my book, I created a new language that we all learned, which was very simple, but it's very similar to what's happening now, which is language is no longer a barrier. Soon, transportation will be much faster, much, much faster. In my book, I predicted that we created technology by the help of some vacuum tunnels and like G-force so that you would go from Tokyo to Berlin underground in 7 minutes. I think this is possible. It's no longer science fiction. It will happen sooner or later with the help of such technology. So imagine if you can go within 3 minutes to a different continent. Would you still have airports and visa and political systems and borders and passports? It would be nonsense if we speak the same language, if we have transportation like this, if the information is possibly available in your phone or even in your mind. Why would we put borders? What's the point? Is economy became digital, not related to the borders of your land. Today, if you go invade the United States, can you take anything from the Silicon Valley? You cannot. Their power, the economy power, is built on the brains, not on the land. So if you go invade them and take the land, you take nothing. So everything is changing right now. If we do as our own science fiction, whenever we talk about Star Wars and Star Trek, and we go to another galaxy and we see another planet, usually this planet is unified. It's like one big city. Why planet Earth is not? Maybe we will need to go to that stage so that in this case, wealth will be distributed in the right way. Just one planet, one city, and we are just distributing the wealth between us in a fair way. Maybe that would be the savior for humanity.
Maybe, or maybe it's, with these things, it's so hard to predict what will happen. But let me ask you this. What do you think is the biggest challenge in how startups or governments are adopting AI? What's the biggest challenge there?
Now the challenge. Let's start with the government. The government. The challenge is clear. First of all, to find the right use cases of AI, because you are not just using a technology. You again need to put a strategy. Why do you want it? So the challenge here is to create the right use cases of AI and finding the right tool to do it for you, especially if it is not your tool, which is a little bit risky in terms of politics.
Yeah.
If you are relying on a tool created by China or the United States, you need to be cautious about it a little bit. Or maybe you need to build your own one. That's why what's happening here in the Middle East is really nice, because you are building an infrastructure. You can put your own tools later on or invent your own tools on that infrastructure.
Yeah.
So in this case, you are not relying on someone else's technology. After this point, you need to build the use cases for it. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to, let's say, have a use case for the trade?
Yeah.
If you can have predictive analysis for it, then you can easily avoid crisis, which is very important. So it depends really on the use case as government. For the startups, the challenges, no, they are a lot. You might now rely on a tool that would be changing or outdated or pricey or something like that. And if you are building your own tool, then you are going into an untapped ocean. Everybody is trying to reach the same point, so you will never know who is going before you. It's an interesting time. It's a challenging time. And with challenge, you will have nice innovations coming out of it. So let everybody compete and have challenges. It will be healthy at the end.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot to take in, because really, like you said, it's very hard to imagine the scale of what this could potentially be. It's hard to even it's hard to imagine, let alone grasp and try to put your hand on a few things so that at least you can position yourself. But which brings me to my next question. What's the best way for a government or a startup to position itself now for the times that are coming?
Position itself. It's not about positioning only, I guess. It's about building the right basis for the future. So governments, you need to build the foundation. You need to have the right skills.
And how do you do that?
You start by educating them about the fundamentals, at least. And this is, I'm here talking about the core of AI. So machine learning, neural networks, GPUs.
Yes.
You need to have the right skills for that if you want to build a foundation for the future that you would be a leader in the AI. To be part of creating it, not only using it. But other governments or countries who cannot afford such a thing for being in the core of the AI, at least work on the skills. Educate the people, give them some awareness. That's why we are here doing this podcast. Why? Because it's awareness.
Yes.
So you need to have much more of this. You need to have events. Dubai is doing amazing job in this. Events everywhere, getting the AI experts. Please speak. Please give much more awareness. So you need to have such steps. Educate the people and educate yourself and build a foundation.
I think there's, if I'm not mistaken, there's also a university here that's government-backed / funded that's specifically around AI and machine learning.
Yes, and we have a minister for AI.
Yeah. Which is insane when you think about it, because I think a lot of the VCs that are government-backed in Abu Dhabi also are heavily invested in AI and, let's say, data-based companies that have a very good infrastructure of databases. And this also now brings me to my next question, is that how are companies evaluated now when they're AI based as opposed to traditional companies? For example, a traditional company, which you look at the bottom line, you look at the net profit, and that's how you evaluate its profitability for the next few years, and you give it an overall valuation. 10x, 8x, whatever. But with AI, sometimes these numbers are not as straightforward. For example, maybe the AI technology in one company is a lot more valuable, but you cannot see the bottom line results yet. So how do you evaluate this?
Well, no, the investors, they have a lot of tools for the valuation of companies. Some companies, it might only be the data that you have. It's much more value than anything else, even if you are losing money. And this is, by the way, the case for Twitter, which became X. It's still losing money. But can you imagine the data inside it and the amount of users inside it? It's worth the billions. But it's still losing money. WhatsApp is still losing money. But WhatsApp is worth billions. But this is one kind of it. Either the amount of users, if you're losing money, is fine. You are still valued with billions. Maybe the data that you have, or maybe the idea that is waiting for a breakthrough. Like, I'll tell you another example. A lot of startups that I either mentored or worked with, they are working now on one of the technologies, very promising technology, is to produce water from the air, from the humidity of the air.
Yes.
Now the challenge now is the power consumption for such units. It's a little bit, let's say, not sustainable. It's costing you more electricity than the value of the water you are getting. So all of these are waiting for a breakthrough. Once the breakthrough happens and you are using much less power, then you solved a lot of problems for the water part, which is critical for our survival. And maybe the AI can help in that.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. And that's why I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, what do you think, which industries do you think are the ones that are adopting AI to its full capacity?
Yeah, it's healthcare.
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 I expected anything but healthcare.
No, actually, it is. You cannot see it yet, but this is. I'll tell you why they were ready for it. Because they have structured data, clean data. It must be. It's by default. It's by nature, by design. It must be clean, structured data. So this is the first sector that will benefit the most. I don't know if you hear about AlphaFold.
No.
So AlphaFold is an AI program that is creating the protein in 3D model and can predict the changes of the structure for it. So the creators of AlphaFold, they won a Nobel Prize last year. And because of this, it saved humans. They made a calculation, something like 1 million years of research.
What?
Because it's
What?
based
What are you
on,
talking about? 1
because
million years of research?
it can simulate millions and billions of structures of protein till it finds the right shape for it. This, before that, could be done manually, and you need to test the results. So you create one option and you need to test the results. One option and test it, one option and test it. Now with the help of AI, it's just creating the simulation, testing all the possible ways that this could be wrong till it finds the right one.
That's
Saving
insane.
millions of years for humans of research. And it's at the end, the proteins. So this will help significantly the drug discovery and the medicines that we will be using and even the diseases. So healthcare is number one, which is fortunate for everyone, I believe. This is a sector or industry we all would be happy that it would benefit from the AI.
That's insane. I actually expected you to maybe tell me finance, real estate.
Actually, it
because
is scary if it goes to finance. It is extremely scary.
Why?
Because, I'll tell you one example. Imagine if the AI got so powerful that it can predict the prices of the stock market.
But that's exactly what Ray Dalio does. I mean, Ray Dalio mentions in his book Principles, I don't know if you read it, but that's exactly what he says. He's like, right now, I reached a point where I have developed algorithms and developed AI agents that can make much better sound judgments in my hedge fund as opposed to other normal traditional sort of analysts that he may employ. Because in his argument, and it's a very interesting argument, is like everything that has happened everything that is happening has already happened before in human history. And humans always repeat the same thing over and over again. And primarily, a lot of it is rooted in greed and other characteristics of human beings when it comes to accumulating wealth. Because it goes up, 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 up. It reaches a breaking point. It goes down. Then it goes up, up, up again. And it's just a cycle. So what he does is he takes all of the previous history for however long he can possibly collect with the data that he's collecting over the years that he started his company, Bridgewater, and use an AI or algorithm or whatever you want to call it to make judgments for future decisions, strategies, whatever it is.
Yeah, imagine now so in the hands of the few, they will get extremely wealthy. But imagine if someone decided to sell it for everyone, so it's available for public. So what will happen in the market when you say, tomorrow Microsoft will be 3.2% higher? Everybody will go today to buy it, right?
Yes.
So it will crash. It will go down.
Yes.
So that's the point. It's that you cannot predict the stock market because it's a paradox. If you predict it, then people will act against the prediction.
So it's oh my God, it's amazing how everything in this life is a balance, right? Like you can never Like even if you feel like you figured it all out, there's always going to be, like you said, it's a paradox. There's always going to be the counter effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes, as bad as it sounds, ignorance is bliss.
Yes. Yes. I know. I know.
Sometimes not knowing
Yeah.
is maybe the solution of life going on normally without any problems, without any crashes. Because, like you said, when we know too much, it sort of creates
Reverse effect. Yeah.
it has a reverse effect, right?
True, but you know, it's good also to open such questions, because sometimes you ask the questions not to find really the answer, but to find new questions, which is the base of philosophy. You know, philosophy was always like this. We are not trying only to seek the answer. No, we are trying to seek more questions. So when you find a topic like that, you think again, okay, AI, if it goes to the stock market and it crashes, maybe the whole idea of the stock market is not gonna last for long. We need another idea, because 1,000 years ago we didn't have the idea of stock market anyways.
Yeah.
And we just survived in different means. So maybe the economy, the capitalism, the trend in whatever comes in the future, we need to think about it from now. What's the new thing that should happen?
Mm. Yeah, I agree with you. And okay, going back to businesses and startups, when it comes to scaling, do you believe that AI can help you scale much faster?
Yes, of course. You know, one of the startups that I was mentoring, they actually used a lot of help from AI for traction by having better social media presence.
Really? How?
Yeah.
Because social media, they're very much against any sort of automation or any sort of unorganic
No, it helped them
assistance.
create better content
Really?
and better strategy.
How is that? Can you explain?
Today, you have tools that can create for you the script of, let's say, an Instagram video,
Right.
okay, or reel. So you can have better scripts than your competition or you yourself, like 2 weeks ago, before knowing about this. So the script now is much better and delivering the right message. And now there are other tools that can create for you an avatar, video avatar, looks
Yes.
exactly human, exactly human.
Hey, Jen.
And yes, and speaking whatever language you choose. So you are not now reaching one language.
Yeah.
You are reaching more than 100 languages. Before that, you would suffer to do that. So again, traction and social media presence is changing by using AI tools that can help you like in few minutes to produce whatever you used to produce in like weeks. So this is AI tools that can leverage, that can give you leverage in startups early enough.
As a mentor, as a business mentor yourself, and when you want to judge if a company is going to be successful or not, what are the first characteristics you look at when it comes to the startup or the business?
It's the attitude of the founders. If they really, really believe in their idea and they have the passion for it, you know that this startup will not fail. They will not make it fail. They believe it in their blood. But if they are...
But that's assuming it meets the first condition, which is
Product
the
market fit.
product market
Of course,
fit.
yes.
See, I was listening, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, nice one. Because of course, if your idea is not solving any problem,
No matter how
and it's not-
passionate you are,
exactly, yeah.
no one's going to buy your product.
Yeah, but some founders, they lose the passion with the first problem. And that when you know that it was not really a real passion, because the real founders, passionate ones, they will not let this problem stop them. They will find a solution or two or 100. They will not stop till they solve that problem. And then they will never take no for an answer from either an investor, from a regulator. They will try as much as they can to change everything for their startup to succeed. So the passion and the vision of the founders is critical. If I don't see it in their eyes, I would be reluctant a little bit. I would try to help them with limited time. But if I see the passion, I know that they will win. Even, by the way, if not for this product, if not for this startup.
For any other business
Yes,
they might be
exactly.
involved
Maybe
in.
the market was not right. Maybe it was not the right timing and it failed. But they still have the passion. They still have the attitude. They will find another idea that they will believe in it and they will continue.
Interesting take. Do you think right now it's easier or harder to raise funds for startups?
Depends on the region, to be honest.
I'm talking, let's talk. Okay, let me rephrase the question again. Do you think it's easier or harder for startups in Dubai right now to raise funds as opposed to like years ago?
Okay. Do you want the truth?
I
or-
listen, I don't want any bullshit. I want the hard truth.
Okay, no, it's not easier. It's not easier.
Why is that?
The ecosystem here is maturing. Currently still maturing. Some investors still are living with the mentality of, okay, here's the fund. Give me 40% of your company. No, it doesn't work like this. 40% is too much. You are killing my startup very early enough. So that's one of the mentalities. Another mentality for investors is that take your money and then you have 6 months. Where is my money? Did you start getting revenue or not? Do you have profit or not? Again, it doesn't work that way.
Are people do people still really think that way?
Some of them. That's why I'm telling you it's maturing because 5 years ago you didn't have international investors here, so you had to rely on whatever the investors here knew about startups. They did a good job, but they also like messed it up. So the ecosystem is maturing a little bit, but is it easy? No, because also, let's say specifically Dubai is a magnet for the whole world right now because it's one of the most beautiful cities that you can live in, and it's full of opportunities.
And it's full of talent.
Yes, but it's also one of the most competitive cities that you can ever live in. If you are not really good in what you are doing, then you are out. Someone else will replace you easily, and they don't
Quickly.
care. You are disposable anytime. We will just have, with a phone call, fly someone, even if they are 16 hours away, give them the same salary or even better, and they will do the job better than you.
And they will hit the ground running from the first day.
Yeah. So you need to be really good. It's a very competitive city. And the nice thing here is that everybody is trying to come to Dubai. So in this case, you will even attract investors to come and filter it out and make the whole ecosystem mature even because you are getting much more experienced people.
Yeah. And probably AI is probably even helping in hiring, in the hiring process of people right now too.
Yeah, it is. But which I don't agree with. For
I know,
the hiring
because
in specific,
I mean
see
the
human factor is
process of
important.
headhunting.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that investors currently, they have a lot of startups coming to Dubai and they want to start something. So the investors are actually hiding now. You cannot contact them easily. They are trying as much as they can to hide from you because they need the filtration to happen so that everybody's just filtering till the actual startups that can actually last would come to them.
Okay. That being said, and because of your experience with startups, which roles do you think or wish will never be replaced by AI?
Therapists and psychologists. Really. This would be the end when AI is your psychology. No, like please give me the human factor at least.
I mean, you never know. Even those could develop a human factor, much more human than some evil human beings that are around.
Well, let them do the.
What was it? That movie?
Which one?
The movie, the guy that falls in love with a girl. Her. And there's another one. The one with Ryan Gosling. I think it was Blade Runner.
And Blade Runner also,
Yeah,
the two
he,
versions of it. But her, she was totally an AI character, and he fell in love with her, and then there was a heartbreak, and it was
yeah.
she was evolving.
I was told about this movie many times, but I never actually
It's a
watched
beautiful
it.
one, yeah,
But
yeah,
it would be one to watch, especially given today's
yeah.
environment.
You know that now it's happening. There are many
Oh my
tools
god.
now, really, that you can create your own boyfriend or girlfriend
Oh
or
my
husband
god.
or wife
Oh
or
my.
whatever. And you know the dangerous part is what? This AI now,
I don't know if I'm ready to hear this.
this AI now really understands you. So imagine a young lady and she created a boyfriend that really understands how to deal with her. Because this AI will never get her to be angry.
You know what's so messed up is that this will become a point of argument right now for all married couples. Like, my AI understands me better than you.
Yeah, it is true. Because also try to make the AI angry, it will not. Unless you tell it be angry. So try to provoke it. It will stay
Yeah.
polite. Imagine having people like this in your
It
life.
could be very mean too, huh? Once I put a picture of my profile,
Yeah.
my Instagram profile, and I asked ChatGPT to roast me.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
Yeah. If you ask it to be angry or to roast you,
And
regardless.
yeah, and
Yes.
no, and then I asked it to make it harsher, and then it was so bad. I
You know,
don't.
I'll tell you something. I asked the same for ChatGPT. I have the paid version. I asked it to do it in Egyptian Arabic,
You know what?
and it was really good.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it right now.
Okay, cool.
I'm
Which
gonna,
language?
I'm in English. I'm gonna take a screenshot of my Instagram page, and I'm gonna ask it to roast me. Hold on. Wait, this is my profile. Okay, so I'm gonna screenshot this, the first one, and then maybe the second one, like this. Now I'm gonna go to ChatGPT.
طب استنى. Do it again while doing screen recording, and you can edit it.
لا لا I will the screen recording I can فهمت علي. Okay, wait.
While talking with the screen recording.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry, I just need to delete this. Okay. So let me do screen recording. So I'm gonna go to my page, screenshot this, screenshot that, then we're gonna go and upload this on ChatGPT. Attach photos. Oh my god. God help me with this. Attach.
You have the voice mode.
I have the voice mode here. Yeah.
Okay.
What should this is my page on Instagram. I want you to roast me based on the pictures that I'm attaching and make it very, very harsh. Oh my God. All right, let's get into it. Your Instagram page looks like an intense TED Talk that no one asked for. Every post is like a motivational speech delivered by a guy who just read one self-book and thinks he's cracked the code to life.
Here it is. Your book.
Unlock your potential, quote unquote. Embrace discomfort, quote unquote. Bro, the only discomfort here is trying to get through all these cliche captions without rolling my eyes into another dimension. You've got the aesthetics of someone who watched too many Grant Cardone videos but still haven't figured out how to make their own content actually engaging. Your guest lineup, question mark, a mix of crypto pros, hustle culture evangelists, and guys who probably have DM me for passive income opportunities in their bios.
You know what? I think you need another AI to be your therapist right now. How about that?
Yeah, it's true. Wait, let me continue. It's like LinkedIn and Instagram have the baby, but the baby only speaks in buzzwords. What's up with the same green neon outline in every post? Are you running a podcast Or are you trying to start your own energy drink brand? That the way your videos look, I half expect to hear this episode is brought to you by Alpha Brain every 5 seconds. Then there's your profile. Entrepreneur, Dubai, free Syria. Bro, you really threw in free Syria in the middle of your real estate flex like a humanitarian afterthought. Like, yes, I flip penthouses, but also world peace, I guess. And that professional dashboard showing 46.9 thousand views in 30 days. Respectfully, that's like bragging about 5 likes on a tweet. Let's not pretend you're breaking the internet when half of those views are probably you rewatching your own clips. Oh my God, so bad. Last thing, that hash picture sandwich between flex posts is insane. You went from spiritual journey to crypto is the future in 0.2 seconds.
wow.
God was still forgiving your sins, and you were already back to preaching about fundraising strategies. Overall, your page is one motivational seminar mixed with an identity crisis. If Instagram had a try hard lead board, you'd be in the top 10.
Wow.
Oh my God, that
No,
was so
man,
harsh.
let me help you, please. Let me help you. Because this is too much, to be honest.
Oh my God, this was so bad. So harsh.
Hey, Bob, how are you?
Hey, Nader. I'm doing well, thanks.
Well,
How about you?
I'm good, thank you so much. I need your help on
great.
something, please.
Of course. I'm here to help. What
What-
do you need assistance with?
My friend currently is having a lot of stress because an AI just roasted him about his Instagram page, and like he's really stressed out. Can you please comfort him?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear your friends feeling stressed. Remind them that AI can sometimes be inaccurate or just for fun. Encourage them to focus on what they enjoy about their page. It's important not to take things like that too personally. If they're feeling overwhelmed, talking it out can really help.
No, Bob, I think you should really act like a therapist or a psychologist, and like he's listening to you, give him please something that would assure him that life is gonna be good again after this roasting.
To your friend, it's completely normal to feel stressed after something like this. Remember that one moment doesn't define you, and things will improve with time. Keep focusing on what makes you happy, and remember that you're not alone. Life always has ups and downs, but you'll get through this.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
See, we have the angel and the devil.
Ajad, what the hell was this? Oh my God, this was
Yeah.
so bad. I've never been so roasted in my entire life.
Don't worry, there's an
La-
AI
And the
that
thing
can-
is, I brought this to myself. Like, I decided to roast my own self on my own
Yeah.
show.
And then I see the tears in your eyes. So, at least you have the therapist now, so it's
Oh
fine.
my God.
I
that
can
was
call
so
Bob
bad.
anytime you need.
That was so bad. Wow. Type. Now, to sort of wrap this up, because this conversation can go on for hours, but we'll have to do
Yeah,
different
sure.
episodes.
I'm ready for part 2.
Yeah, definitely. What advice would you give to startups right now to sort of really capitalize on the current status of AI? What advice would you give startups right now to really capitalize on the use of AI in the most efficient way while focusing on the core business model?
Well, yeah, I would say that there would be 2 kinds of startup models for the AI currently. One of them, as you mentioned, AI-powered startup.
Yeah.
So in their core technology, they are using the AI. In this case, either they are building something out of let's say, an open source model, upgrading it or something. So the core of the startup is AI. In this case, the advice is to have multiple sources. Don't rely on one, let's say, open source, and that's it. No, try to diversify a little bit. You shouldn't rely on one technology and you'll find it outdated in just like next month. So that's for the AI-powered startups. The non-AI powered, let's say they are just a startup for anything else and they are not really having AI as in their core technology, the new startup in each and every aspect of it before you do it. Just ask it to make A/B testing for you, which is just testing 50% of the users in one direction, another one. Ask it to help you put a strategy for this. Give it the results of these testing. Ask it to analyze it even for you. Have basic data analytics. You have an amazing tool that can help you. It's just like you have an expert with you that you can outsource some questions to them. So why not do that?
Do you think really AI would be able to also predict whether your business will fail or succeed?
No, it's because, I don't want to give AI now bigger than it what deserves. It's still an assistant.
Yeah.
AI can build for you a project, right? It can build for you, invent for you even a product. But AI will not understand why are you inventing this product?
Yeah.
What's your intention behind it? So it will give you a perfect product that would work, but then when you think about your why, then no, it wouldn't work that way. Humans are much more complex than AI currently, and I'm talking in the, let's say, in the near future. In the far future is totally something else. No, it would be the other way around. We would be just emotional beings or species, and the intelligent species would be much more intelligent than us. But that's the far future for now. But for now, we shouldn't rely on the AI too much to predict if the company would fail or not. Just ask it for trends. Ask it for what are we not doing? What are we doing that could be enhanced? Let it be helping you, but not like controlling.
And what are your predictions for the next few years? What do you think is really going to happen?
Well, away from the AI crash that I told you about, which is a good thing, by the way, it will help reduce the trash, let's say.
Yeah.
It will help us clean a little bit. But then the prediction is that advancement in quantum computing will be much higher with the help of AI. And once we combine, or let's say we put this marriage between quantum computing and AI, everything that we know currently will be changed forever, including our understanding of the universe, our understanding of biology, about physics, because the quantum computing capabilities is just like millions of times faster than the currently fastest computer.
Wow, great. Well, Nader, this was a great conversation. Definitely need to have part 2. I think part 2 will need to be, I think we'll have to talk a little bit more about my field to see how AI is going to...
I would love to have this.
Yeah, because construction and real estate, specifically real estate, is definitely one of those that's going to be very much affected by AI.
Interesting, because I was invited to a panel a week ago, actually 2 weeks ago, and it was about construction and engineering, and we were talking about the future of 3D printing in construction and buildings. And I gave them a lot of nice ideas. I will save them for the next podcast. And one of my current clients as a consultant, one of them is in real estate. So definitely I will enjoy your side of the podcast next time.
Because it's very much data-based, right? It's very data-rich.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of information data you can work with to simulate a model.
Exactly.
So I think there's a lot to be done. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Thank you
so much.